Atheist Roundtable, a gathering place for rational people.
Funny pictures and videos.
Profound atheist quotes.
The religious going crazy.
The latest news.
World domination.
Casual discussions.
Baby eating.
The ultimate forum for a lively dialogue. Come join the fun at atheistroundtable.com.
Place your bets. Will they or will they not lose their tax-exempt status? The laws which grant tax exemptions to churches are similar to the laws granting immunity from duty to other nonprofit organizations, including charities and political action groups. These rules allow limited and specific policy-related speech and lobbying under a variety of tax-exempting shelters or umbrellas. When a church or organization knowingly violates these limits, the umbrella is supposed to be stripped away, exposing the entity to tax liability and fines. However, not one religious entity has been stripped of its exemption over the last 2 decades. The last time this happened, it was when a church in New York encouraged parishioners to vote against Bill Clinton in his first bid for the presidency. However, there are currently 2 complaints before the IRS involving distinct cases of religious officials using the pulpit to encourage their members to vote against President Obama. The first involves the Catholic Diocese of Peoria, Illinois, where Bishop Daniel Janke succumbed to Godwin's law and compared Obama's health care reform to the anti-church advocates of Lenin and the imagined church bashing of Adolf Hitler. He did this in a homily read at St. Mary's Cathedral. The other case involves Pastor Ronnie Spriggs of Hager Hill Free Will Baptist Church in Kentucky. During a sermon opposing gay marriage and the president's recent support of equality under the law, Pastor Spriggs said, "I don't know about you folks, but I'm going on record and I don't care who knows it. I want the guy out." Concerns in Egypt. The recent Arab Spring revolution in Egypt has led to concerns that Islamic fundamentalism may take root in the predominantly Muslim country, which is a fairly sizable Christian minority. Concerns that the minority will be treated unfairly is exemplified by a recent episode in Minya province, 140 miles south of Cairo. Last April, religious tensions in that province escalated because of speed bumps. The situation began when a Muslim bus driver got in an altercation with a wealthy Christian security guards over bumps the Christian had installed outside his property. The bus driver gathered a group of angry, ultra-conservative Muslims who came to Minya in protest of the treatment he had received. Fearing an attack, Christians fired on the group from rooftops, striking 4 of the protesters, 2 of whom died from their wounds. This set off several days of riots and fires. Ultimately, 12 Christians were charged with murder and 8 Muslims were charged with arson. The state security court acquitted all 8 Muslims and convicted each of the 12 Christians who were sentenced to life in prison for the 2 deaths. Pat Robertson likes to make the news. TV evangelist and failed Republican presidential candidate Pat Robertson is making headlines once again. During a recent segment on his extremely popular 700 Club television program, Robertson discussed a 200-member splinter Episcopal sect in Falls Church. This group broke from the majority body church in Virginia 6 years prior to the evangelist's comments. Robertson praised the small offshoot group and expressed worry that the majority church will not have the blessings of God. He also warned that the English mother church, the Anglicans, will eventually declare the American Episcopal Church to be apostate and insisted that only those groups which break from the Episcopal communion will be seen as worthy by God. Among the issues which led to the break is the increasingly liberal theology which recognizes homosexuality as normal for those individuals and the ordination of women and gay priests. Swiss theologian refuses to participate in the Vatican II celebrations. Since the First Vatican Council in 1869, the Roman Catholic Church has held that the Pope is infallible when acting in his official capacity promulgating dogmatic teaching on the faith or morals. This concept was then reaffirmed 50 years later at the Second Vatican Council, better known as Vatican II. This teaching was challenged by Swiss priest Father Hans Kung in his 1971 book Infallible, an Inquiry. As a consequence of his calling papal infallibility into question, Father Kung was stripped of his license to teach as a Roman Catholic theologian. Nevertheless, even without his Missio Canonica, the Latin name for his now defrocked authorization to teach as a member of the clergy, Kung continued as a tenured professor of ecumenical theology at the University of Tübingen. This year, being the Jubilee anniversary of Vatican II, Father Kung was invited to participate in the festivities held at Mannheim, Germany. Kung declined the invitation, saying in part, "In my opinion, there is no reason for a festive council gala, but rather for an honest service of penance or a funeral service."